Back to the phone lines we go, because this is interesting, because the Lord Mayor yesterday was saying he was going to give a half day, and I was trying to encourage him to make it a bank holiday Monday, a long weekend, if Cork won the hurling final. Because Lord Mayors used to have the power, and probably still do, to give half days. But it prompted a text from Evelyn. Good morning.
Good morning, Neil. How are you?
I'm well. And you said by text, do you know that it was me that introduced the half days to all girls' schools in the 70s? Tell me all about that.
That's correct. It was Cork and the All-Ireland. I think I was 9 or 10 at the time. And I was in Turner's Cross Primary School, and the head nun, Sister Madeline, came into the class to say if we knew anybody on the Cork team, to ask them to come in and give us a look at the cup.
Was this football or hurling?
It was the football, I think.
Sam Maguire then, okay. Yeah.
So, of course, straight away what came into my head is that we'd get the half day, because it was always only the boys that ever got that, you know?
What?
It was any time up to the time that I got it, was only ever the boys' school would get the half day, because the teasing would always go back to school and, you know, that sort of thing.
Wait a second, I just want to talk just for a moment on that. The boys would get a half day for what? If Cork won the All-Ireland?
Cork won the All-Ireland, be it hurling or football.
All Cork boys' schools would get a half day?
Absolutely. Up to the point that I got the girls the half day.
And were people not annoyed or angry about that? Was there not commotion over it?
But sure, you didn't do anything, so did you back then? I mean, that's what it was, and like it or lump it, you know?
Good God.
Yeah.
That's so sexist.
But that was going on for years, wasn't it? What you call it, only changing, if you like, over the last number of years.
It's like being in the public sector working and having to leave your job when you got married if you were a woman.
Absolutely, that was it.
Nonsense.
But once Sister Madeline came into the class, I heard, like, if we knew anybody, straight away it was Charlie McCarthy for me, because he was around the corner from me. And I was in half day. So the match was on, and needless to say, we were glued to the telly and we won. Half an hour later, I'm up knocking the Charlie McCarthy.
Was that against Kerry or Dublin? Do you recall or anything like that?
I couldn't recall.
All right.
Being honest, no, I couldn't. But up around the corner, Charlie, half an hour after the match finished, knocking on the door, expecting him to answer it. You know, come down to the school tomorrow, and no answer. And every half hour, I'd be up and knocking at the door until it was time to come in to go to bed. So 8:30 the following morning, one last knock, and there was no answer. So I'm saying, how can I get him to come in with the cup? And I decided at the 11 o'clock break, I would run into the boys' school to Brother Basil and tell him Sister Madeline wanted the team to be brought in to the school. That, you know, we were going to get a half day just as much as the boys. So the team came in, we got the half day, off at home, happy, delighted with ourselves. The kids, like my brothers and sisters, told my mum, like, Evelyn got us a half day. They were all left out. I was told stay in and whatever.
Stay in the house?
Oh, I had to stay in, yeah, because of what I done. I shouldn't have done it. And, you know.
You were a little trailblazer.
That was it. So then I thought I was going to be in big trouble with my father, and I was hiding then for him for a while. And I remember that Christmas, my brother, Mike, he got a wigwam. And I knew the match was coming on, and I said, come on, we go in, and I'm lacing up the wigwam. And my dad said, get out here and watch that match you've got a half day for, or whatever. So I did. But years later, he said to me, he said, do you know what? He said, you should have got a plaque somewhere, because you were actually in there for equal rights at that age. And I just looked at him and I said, "'Tis now you say that."
I know.
That's all the hiding. And, you know,
well, as they say, they used to shoot pioneers and probably still do. So ever since then, whenever Cork won the football or the hurling or whatever, the girls in Cork got to have to...
I'm not sure if it stopped a couple of years ago, because I think there's all different rules now at the schools with the holidays, the in days, out days, and, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but they could make it up later in the year, for God's sake. You know, you know what I was thinking? It's just thinking there, because you said Charlie McCarthy, because he played with the Bars, didn't he?
I couldn't tell you that. All I know that he was on the Cork team.
Yeah, he was a full forward, I think. I think alongside probably Shawnee O'Leary from Youghal and Ray Cummins from Blackrock. I think they were front, but
they were all around the same time.
But Charlie McCarthy was a hurler. Was he a dual star?
Then it must have been hurling, so.
No, I mean, listen, somebody would correct me, but my understanding of him up front was with a hurley in his hand, but I would have been quite young. Maybe he was a dual star.
Maybe he was hurling. I mean, we're going back over 40 years.
Because up front was Charlie McCarthy, Ray Cummins.
Charlie McCarthy playing. I was up and around knocking at the door, and obviously they were in Dublin, but sure, we were too young to know that they weren't back from Dublin yet, That sort of thing.
There was a dream team of hurlers knocking around at the time.
Yeah.
John Horgan from Blackrock with his long blonde hair, and Dermot McCurtain out of Blackrock as well.
Yeah. I'd been around 9 or 10 at the time.
Gerald McCarthy from the Bars, a fellow player of Charlie McCarthy. But it's a great story. And have you an interest in the hurling now for the All-Ireland final?
No, it is rugby is my game. I love the rugby. Anything rugby I love. I would sit down and watch like hurling and football if I was with others, that wanted to watch. That's fine, it doesn't bother me.
Well, I went out on Sunday at half time. To be honest with you, I was kind of cutting the grass, so I knew there'd be 15 minutes, just enough time to cut the front grass, right? And I went out, and on the Douglas Road, usually there'd be traffic up and down and buses up and down. Half time in the hurling, it was just deserted.
Sure, everyone is glued to it.
Unbelievable.
They have a huge following, there's no doubt about that.
Great story. Listen, Evelyn, thanks so much. Absolutely. You changed the lives of women and young girls for the better. You should be proud of that. Well done. Hang on a second, actually, before you go anywhere. Let me just see if I can pull in line 2 here. I think I can. Paddy!
Well, I thought you were giving me a surprise.
What would you like?
I don't know, a surprise. I'm supposed to be surprised.
I have to look in my surprise bag. I don't know if I've got any surprise. Hold on a second, Paddy.
Hello, Neil.
Are you the hurling expert?
Well, I'm not an expert, but that was Charlie McCarthy was captain in '78 when Cork won 3 in a row. They just called him Charlie's Angels.
Was he a dual player? Because I remember him as a hurler.
No.
Yeah.
Just hurler with Cork, and he worked with us. He was painting for Offense Construction, and Michael Flynn and John Flynn, when we were in our O'Brien Dublin at the time in Shrewsbury, and he brought the cup up there, and we went down to Ballots Monday with the cup the following week into the squash club there in Ballinlough.
78 you're talking about, is it?
78. Martin Doherty was captain in 76, Ray Cummins 77, and the great Charlie's Angels 78.
Martin Doherty was Glen Rovers, wasn't he, back in the Dream Team?
Yeah, Ray Cummins, the Rockies, and Charlie's Angels and the Bears.
So Charlie McCarthy would have been up front with Ray Cummins and Shawnee O'Leary.
Charlie was right half out.
Unbelievable. So Evelyn, it was the hurling, not the football. But don't worry about that.
Yeah. What you call it?
Okay.
What I remember about when Evelyn was talking there about half days, I can never remember what she said, because the half days in school was always if the cup came to your school, you got a half day.
But the girls didn't get the cup. It was the boys' schools, you see.
Oh, I know the school got the half day.
Yeah, but if it was a girls' school,
I think everyone wherever the cup came, you got a half day.
Yeah. If it was a boys' primary or a boys' secondary.
Well, only ever boys that went to it, never came to the school.
Well, Neil, I don't know, because the cup was always in the city, right? I don't know. So we didn't do very well out of it, like.
But at least Evelyn got the visit, or at least the half day, if not the visit, for the Sam Maguire or the Lee McCarthy Cup.
For years.
Well done.
Well, we wanted the 2 cups anyway, so we wouldn't do that.
That's true. Absolutely. That's true. We can claim them in one way or another. All right, guys. Thanks so much for that. Cheers. Take care. Thanks, Evelyn.
Neil, are you giving me a surprise?
I'll give you an Oak Fire pizza voucher just to shut you up.
Perfect.
Well done, Evelyn. Get the pizza.
No problem, bye.
Neil Prendeville, the voice of Cork. Weekdays 9 to 12. Cork's Red FM.